Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason. I'm speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. And I'm doing a video. I just wanted to cover two recent movies that I watched. Um, and I'm covering these two movies because they're very connected to each other. Both movies star Ryan Reynolds and are directed by Sean Levy. They are Free Guy and Adam Project, which both you can watch on streaming channels. Free Guy. First, I'll talk about Free Guy. Free Guy came out this last year in the movie theater. I didn't go see it in the movie theater, but it's on Disney Plus and on HBO Max, I believe. You can watch it on one of those two streaming channels. And of course, starring Ryan Reynolds, directed by Sean Levy. Like I said, Sean Levy, very likable. Makes a lot of family comedies, I would say, and now he's doing a lot more sci-fi action comedies. It seems to be his big thing. And I enjoy Sean Levy movies. They're usually pretty solid. Starting with the Night in the Museum movies, he started those. That's where I first heard of him. And he's done a lot, like I said, these two movies recently. And yeah, he's done a lot of bigger budget movies now. Yeah, I think he started with more not low budget, but more just family comedies. Now he's doing more of these big budget movies, and he's done a pretty good job. He's highly involved with Stranger Things on Netflix. I know he's directed a lot of episodes there. Anyways, and Ryan Reynolds, one of the biggest actors today. I mean, you're talking about maybe top five best, most prolific actor right now. Very popular, making lots of movies and lots of Netflix. He must be doing a lot of Netflix because I know he just did Red Notice not too long ago. Now Adam Project's another Netflix movie for him. So I'm guessing he's doing a lot of Netflix. I don't know if he has a contract with Netflix or to do so many movies, but I wouldn't be surprised. He seems to be doing a lot there, and of course, tons of movies out. Deadpool's been his biggest one, but he's in so many movies out in theaters also. Definitely just a really likable actor, I think, and he's very likable in real life. If you see him in interviews, he's very good in interviews. And he's one of those guys he's kind of a comedic actor, but he's in a leading man body. I mean, he's a tall, good-looking, very in-shape guy who can do action movies and all that, and romantic comedies, of course. And he's got such great comedic timing, one of the best, I think, at that. And so he's absolutely funny. It seems to come natural. Like he doesn't. It's just his instinct is to be funny. And he seems to play himself in every movie. I've heard that criticized, but playing himself is very enjoyable and likable to watch. So I say keep doing what is doing very well for you. And I think that's what he does. Is he kind of has the same kind of character throughout each movie, but he's so good at being Ron Reynolds that it works so well right now. So anyway, so saying that, I enjoyed both movies. First, talk about Free Guy. I watched this on streaming not too long ago. This is a movie, probably seen commercials. I think I saw the trailer for this movie like 2 years ago. I mean, I remember seeing the trailer like a long time ago and being like, that looks interesting. And then totally forgot about it. Because of COVID, they pushed the movie release year at least back. And finally it came out. And I saw it finally on, I think, Disney Plus when it came out. Not that long ago, in the last month, anyways, and it's I would call it sci-fi action comedy kind of mixture, along with Ryan Reynolds. We got Jodie Comer. It's kind of not Ryan Reynolds. It's just kind of a romantic, somewhat with Ryan Reynolds, but also with another character. Jodie Comer becoming a very big actress now. I know she was in The Last Duel, and people praised her for her performance there. So I think she's one that's going to be in a lot of movies, and she does a very good job. Taika Waititi, of course, he plays kind of the bad guy in this movie, and he's taken off because he's a really well-respected director, great comedy action director, now doing the Thor movies, and got an Oscar for writing the screenplay for Jojo Rabbit. So he's a really good screenplay writer and director, and he's a very funny actor. That's the funny thing, is like he's such a talented guy, be able to do everything. And then you got a guy named Joe Carey. Might not know as much. I know him from Stranger Things. He plays a character there, and he's kind of this one of the main characters. It's funny, Ryan Reynolds was kind of he's all over the trailers mostly as the main character, but there's also like I said, Joe Carey and Jodie Comer are just as much of a lead character or lead roles in this movie because Ryan Reynolds in the movie he plays a computer. He's in a game, a video game, so he's a video game character who kind of lives each day is the same thing because he's living inside this video game as long with all these other people. But he eventually becomes self-aware that and he kind of thinks for himself instead of just doing this. He's kind of programmed a certain way, and he's going outside his programming and making his own decisions and going against what he's programmed to do. So he's kind of become an AI, I guess, artificial intelligent kind of character, and trying to figure out what's going on. Doesn't realize he's in a video game. So you got this whole video game world that you see a lot in the trailers that Ryan Reynolds is in. But then outside the video game world, you have Joe Carey, I said, and Jodie Comer playing two video game developers who Taika Waititi's like this. He's owns this video game company, and he takes the ideas from these other two, and he made this video game Free City, which is like it's kind of this video game where it's like a Fortnite. I guess I don't play Fortnite, but I think it's kind of like Fortnite where people come in and they shoot each other, and it has a little bit of Grand Theft Auto in there. It's a place where you can be a bad guy and rob banks and shoot people, and you're competing against other people anyway. So very violent like video game. And you got these two video game developers who Taika Waititi steals their idea, and so they're trying to play the video game to figure out they can come up with some evidence that he took their idea and try to use it to get back their idea of creating like this world where everybody can come together and but not be violent, shooting each other kind of stuff. Anyway, so that's kind of the big plot of the movie really, and then Ryan Reynolds' character kind of comes in because he becomes artificially intelligent basically and self-aware, or be able to make his own decisions. And so they're trying to figure out how does this happen? How does Ryan Reynolds' character, who just named Guy, he just has a very blind name, Guy, how is he able to go against the computer programming? And so anyway, there's a whole interesting plot dealing with that. And so Ryan Reynolds helps them try to figure out how to get the evidence against this guy. That's kind of the basic plot of it. And Taika Waititi's, of course, trying to delete him from the video game. That's kind of the whole thing. So it's whole. Like I said, there's like, of course, it's got nominated for best special effects because the whole video game world is all special effects. And if you play video games like I have, you get all the references. So I enjoy that part of the movie, that all the video game references I totally got, because I was like, yeah, I understand all these video game, lingo and all that. And it's all got a lot of geek pop culture in it, which I love geek pop culture because I've done a lot, I've been involved with a lot of geek stuff, I guess, like that, like video games and movies, TV, whatever, I love all that that's involved in the movie. Anyways, and so it's a very enjoyable, like I said, family comedy action. Got a little bit of everything in there. I would say I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars, which is a light recommend. So it's not a real strong recommend. I think it's still worth a watch if you have Disney Plus or HBO Max. Definitely, like any Ryan Reynolds movie, I think you get some enjoyment out of it. I would say it's not as a comedy. It didn't make me laugh a whole lot. It was just okay. Action-wise, it didn't thrill me as much as a really good action movie. So it does okay as a comedy action, but not great in either category. So that's why I'm not giving it a real strong recommend. Anyways, that's why I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars. I will say, though, the ending is really good and probably is the best part of the movies, how they resolve everything. I thought was done very clever and kind of took me a little bit by surprise how they did that part. So I really give a lot to that part. And it kind of reminds me of another movie called Ready Player One, which was directed by Steven Spielberg, which deals a lot with the same ideas of being in a kind of video game and deals with geek pop culture, 80s, 90s kind of thing. And I would say Ready Player One's a better movie think a better, more interesting plot and better directed and all that, of course, because Steven Spielberg's, really great. Anyway, so I say, and Ready Player One is still on HBO Max streaming, so if you have that, I recommend watching Ready Player One. I think it's a little bit similar and superior movie to this one, Free Guy, but still would recommend Free Guy. And then the other movie I'm going to talk about is Adam Project, which just came out recently on Netflix. Again, starring Ryan Reynolds, directed by Sean Levy. Has a pretty good cast to it. Has Jennifer Gardner, Mark Ruffalo, Zoe Saldana, and Catherine Keener, all in it. And this is a movie, again, got a lot of sci-fi, time travel in it, a lot of action in it, and then a mixture of comedy, of course, with Ryan Reynolds. And Ryan Reynolds kind of goes back in time. He lives in 2050. He goes back in time, I think the current day, I guess, and to visit himself when he's 12 years old. And his parents are played by Jennifer Gardner and Mark Ruffalo. And so the question is, like, why does he go back in time? He's trying to stop something from happening because the future is kind of bleak. And it turns out his father invented time travel, and so he's trying to go back to destroy time travel. I guess the idea, if he destroys time travel, it'll stop this bad things from happening in the future. Anyway, so it deals with that, and he gets attacked, and he has this cool electric rod thing. His younger self calls it a lightsaber, and he says it's not a lightsaber, but kind of like a lightsaber. It's a really cool weapon that he uses against these robot type enemies that attack him, and a lot of flying scenes in there. And I'd say the action is done very, very well. I really enjoyed all the action scenes and the sci-fi element of it. And I've always liked a good time travel movie too. I think that's all done very well. The thing I really like this movie. I think this is a little bit better than the other movie, Free Guy, I talked about. I thought this was a really excellent movie. And Ryan Reynolds, like I said, great comedy, great action. Also does a good dramatic role here. He has some good dramatic scenes. What I love is he's going back in time, and he gets to see his parents, Jennifer Gardner, Mark Ruffalo, and it's kind of there's this whole idea of going back and seeing your parents and, trying to tell them, you kind of miss your parents once they're gone. When they're here, you think they're always going to be here, but so I love this idea of him talking to his parents, but his parents don't know that, or his mom doesn't know it's him. It's her grown-up son, Adam. And so I love that he talks to her and tries to tell her, that how he loves her and how he, regrets the way he treated her when he was younger. And so there's all this regret that's in him, and he's trying to tell her without telling her that he's her son, of course, because she'd freak out. And so I love that aspect and Ryan Reynolds does a really great job acting that scene out. You really see the emotion in his face as he's trying to tell his mom, that he does that. Her son does love him, does love her, and sorry, and all this stuff. And so I love that aspect of that connection with your parents, and maybe having your regrets of you're growing up and not respecting your parents or not appreciating them as much as you should. And so that's what really makes that movie over the top. Just better than just a comedy action movie, but actually something with some emotional value to it and stakes to it that I really enjoyed. Anyways, and he has moments with his father, who's kind of doesn't have as good a relationship with, and so there's a lot of good closure with that relationship that I really enjoyed in the movie. And the movie ending is just really great, really heartfelt, and got a good action scene there. But there's a real good heartfelt ending to it that emotionally satisfying to what happens with that character, and very happy ending anyways. And so it really made me happy at the end, and I always love that in a movie when I'm really happy at the end. So I give Adam Project 4 out of 5 stars. So I give that a strong recommend. It is one of the better movies I've seen in a while. I see a lot of these Oscar nominated movies, and they're all really bleak and unhappy movies. So I always enjoy seeing a movie like Adam Project, which is enjoyable and entertaining and makes you happily satisfied at the end. So that's what I think about that. The Adam Project and Free Guy, 2 worthwhile movies to watch. Like I said, Adam Project on Netflix, Free Guy on Disney Plus and HBO Max. So I'd say check both those out. Definitely Adam Project, especially if you have that. Anyway, so that's my reviews of those 2 movies. So feel free to comment if you've seen those movies, what you think. I'd love to see that. And just thank you to everybody that's watching the video and liking it. And thank you to the subscribers for supporting the channel. I really appreciate you. Have a good day.